It's Def Leppard right here on your classic metal show from the High and Dry release. And want to appreciate the call from Sean from Chicago for sharing with us his Def Leppard and Eddie Trunk stories. I love it when fans open up about their experiences, and, you know, we all have our favorites. I mean, obviously, Chris and I have talked about our favorites. I mean, obviously, I have a friendship with the band Dokken, and Chris has his friendships with Pantera, as well as Phil Anselmo, and whatnot. And, you know, we got stories to tell over the last 20 years of broadcasting and whatnot, but it always makes me laugh when people have had their, you know, brush with greatness, if you will, or, you know, whoever it is that they've encountered, and it's just like, wow, this wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. So anyway, we want to appreciate Sean for calling in.
He was good, man, didn't you think?
He was funny. I liked it. I liked the fact that he opened up about his experiences with, you know, meeting Def Leppard and hanging out with them on 2 or 3 occasions.
I am always stunned at these guys spending this kind of money, man.
It is amazing that they have that kind of scratch to spend to go say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I personally cannot afford $750 to meet anybody. Sorry, I cannot do it. Who would you go and meet for $750?
I don't know that there'd be anybody that I would, because at this point, and maybe things might be different if it was 20 years ago, and I haven't been blessed with being able to do this show for as long as I've done it. But everybody that I've wanted to meet, I've met.
Right. I mean, would you pay that much to do like an interview with anybody? Like, I personally would love to interview Ozzy. He's like the only guy on my metal list I have not interviewed. But I don't think I would pay $750 to do it. Is there anybody on your list
that I would pay that kind of money just to interview?
Yeah, like, well, instead of a meet, you know, because at least with an interview, and hear me out, and you might be the other way. But for me, the interview, I'd rather do a phone interview with somebody than actually meet them, because I get to spend 20, 30 minutes actually talking to them versus 3 minutes shaking a hand and getting pushed out of the way.
Sure.
So for me, I would love to interview Ozzy, and if there was a pay ability, like if you pay X amount, I might pay like $100 to interview Ozzy. I might do that because he's the only one on my list.
Sure.
Is there anybody on your list that you would pay to interview at this point?
Well, I'm thinking about the Ozzy thing.
Yeah.
What? And I'm going to go all Chris Aiken here.
Okay.
What is it that you would ask Ozzy that nobody has asked Ozzy already?
You know what? I would definitely research, and I would probably get into it with Ozzy about, you know, what is it that he looks for when he finds all these guitar players, because he clearly has a knack for it that most people don't have. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I've ever read that or heard that anywhere where he said, oh, well, you could tell when you see them play blah, 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 whatever it is. You know, I would probably ask something like that. You know, I would definitely ask him some questions about his feelings, you know, about Black Sabbath, not only the stuff when he was out, but did he have the same, you know, what kind of feeling did he have when he brought it back? Was it just a money gig? If it is just a money gig, how do you get excited to play the shows? You know, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I would like to know.
All right. That $100, say you had that opportunity, but it would cost you that $100 for 30 minutes.
Okay.
But you had to get your questions pre-approved.
Nah, not doing it. Not doing it. No way.
So do you think that Ozzy does interviews unfettered without pre-approval?
Ozzy? Yeah.
You do? So. Do you really?
I think he does, yeah. Because he says stupid shit all the time whenever he does an interview run. He constantly says dumb shit.
But do you know anybody who gets to interview Ozzy, though?
Mark Strickle?
That was sort of a fluke.
We could ask him.
True.
We could ask him. I'm trying to think who else has interviewed Ozzy. I wonder if Wardlaw's interviewed Ozzy.
Because I think that Ozzy would be kind of under tight control.
Yeah, I know Metallica wanted their questions pre-approved.
Of course.
And I said no to that.
Sure.
And then I just worked around it and got a hold of Jason.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a good point, too, is would it be what like that where you have to submit the questions? That is a good point.
Probably. I would say you would. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Okay. I think you guys need to just remove yourselves from being in the biz, and look at it from, if you weren't on the Classic Metal Show,
mm-hmm.
and you had never met Don Dokken in 1995 or whenever the Dysfunctional record was out, if that had never happened, and you, for example, and you didn't live in the US, and you lived somewhere like Australia or I don't know, some places in Europe where bands don't tour all the time, and think you need to remove yourself from that and look at it from the perspective of thinking, well, I'm never going to get to meet Ozzy Osbourne unless I do this, or I'm never going to that's where I think the divide comes in. I think the reason you guys don't get it is because you've obviously worked hard to be where you are, but the reason you guys don't get it is because you are in the position that you're in.
There's probably truth to that. There's probably truth to that. I mean, I can speak for me. I was meeting bands when I was I met the Eagles when I was like 8. I was fortunate enough to grow up with my mom. My mom was the banker of the biggest promoter in our area. So I know for me, I've never had that excitement. And Neely, you know this, as long as I've known you, I never want to meet bands because it's boring to me. So
yeah, because you've done it all the time.
Well, and that's it. And I get that. I'm agreeing with you, Tim. I'm agreeing. My point though is that even if I wasn't, I still don't know that I'd be dropping a lot of money. I don't know that I'd be dropping $750 to meet anybody. That's a lot of coin, man.
That's probably a fair point too. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. But the price of some of the prices are insane. I take that, and I wear that. I guess it's a fine line. Anyway, hail and kill.
All right, Tim.
I've got to meet some people via, my associations with this show, but I've got to meet people just by chance of being there.
Sure.
And some of my heroes, which, I've met, like people like John Mellencamp. I had an opportunity to meet him. I'm a big Mellencamp fan. I don't like his politics and I don't like his social stances, but I enjoy his music quite a bit.
Sure.
And meeting him, very nice guy.
Sure.
Took a picture with him. He signed a poster for me. Very cool. I've told my Evel Knievel story. That was just a fluke.
Right,
but
sure.
That was probably the biggest meet of my entire life right there.
Now, if you had not met Evel, what would you have paid to meet him?
Well, that's a tough one because I don't know that I would pay to meet anybody, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's Evel Knievel. If you were 20 years old again.
Yeah.
and you had $1,000, and it's Evel Knievel, and you could see, and that's where it comes in. You might not pay it to meet him, but you might pay it to sit in his trailer for a half hour and talk to him.
Maybe.
That's the difference.
Yeah, but see, that was a big one for me.
Sure. In your world, that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, that definitely was the biggest one.
So that might be one that you might pay for.
Yeah, but that's a really rare one, though.
Right.
Would I pay that for just any music star?
Yeah.
No.
How much would you have paid to get to stand next to the rocket at Snake River Canyon before it went off? Like
Oh, wow.
Like to assist Evel into the
Yeah, if you were actually got to be a part of the team.
Yeah, like you got to kind of hold Evel's arm while he climbed into the rocket. How much would that be worth?
That'd be worth, well, today. I'm going to talk about today because I was only a kid then. I was only 10 years old.
Yeah.
But, understanding the value of money and looking back, and if that was the case that I was that, involved,
yeah,
$2,000.
$2,000 you would have paid.
Yep.
How much would you have paid to get to line the buses up for him to jump?
Not much. Nothing.
You wouldn't pay that?
No.
You wouldn't want
No.
You wouldn't want to be that? What about to be on the rescue crew in case he wiped out? Would you pay for that?
I don't know. I think
I would pay for that.
That
could be fun.
Sure.
I mean, not seeing him dead, but
right.
To be one of those guys that runs over and make sure he's alive and
sure.
shit.
Yeah. Sure.
That's roulette there.
Right.
Because you might just see him land and just be standing there with your dick in your hand. But then again, you might see him all fucked up. You might see Evel with a bone sticking out of that fucking white jumpsuit or something.
Sure. Absolutely.
That could be really a good memory forever. What do you think? 1,000?
Yeah. 1,000.
1,000 for that one?
Sure.
All right. What about if you could be the guy, much like you've done with Dockin a few times when I've been with you? What if you could be the guy that hands Evel his purse at the end of the night? Not purse, but
his money, his payout.
His payout.
Yeah.
Evel, here's your 20 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
How much would you pay to do that?
500.
500?
Yeah.
All right. See, so you would pay for something.
Yeah, but that's to me, that's an anomaly. That's kind of, that's not like meeting, I don't know, Vince Neil or somebody like that.
Right.
This is Evel Knievel. This is a world renowned daredevil who basically created his own sport, was a American icon.
Right.
That's a little bit different. That's just like that to me is in the same league as meeting Lemmy.
Okay. Would you pay anything to bang one of the chicks that Evel banged?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Not even for the story?
I'm not doing sloppy seconds. No.
Oh, it's been fucking 25 years.
No.
No, I mean, I'm sure she doesn't still have some evil sperm in her. What if she was hot?
Am I going to pay for a chick to bang her?
She was hot and she banged Evel.
Oh, nah, you know what? I'm not that interested in banging some chick that banged Evel.
What if she called you Evel while she was fucking you?
No.
Wouldn't that be worth something?
No. No. Pussy's pussy, dude. I'm not paying for that.
What if she called you Knievel?
Knievel.
Like Neely Evil.
Evil Knievel.
You could be Knievel Knievel.
Right.
Up at old lady's snapper.
No. No.
You don't want that, huh?
Nah. Not at all.
All right. Just asking.
Nope. I was very fortunate to be in that position. It was I look at it as fate, it's like one of those things that was just meant to be.
Right, sure.
You know, I was just lucky enough to finagle my way into that party, that after jump party, and be there.
Right.
It's like it was meant to, that I was meant to meet this guy.
And with dumb luck, he didn't wreck on that one.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have wrecked, then it would have been useless.
Yeah. Look at Carolina, Evil McNeely.
Evil McNeely?
Right.
Evil Keneally.
It's a good one.
I think I'd pay $100 to bang out somebody that Evil had banged.
Really?
Yeah, I'd pay $100.
Sure.
I'd pay $100. $150 if she called me evil. $250 if she called me evil and let me film it.
She says, "I'll bang you, but you gotta wear the crash helmet."
That'd be all right. I'd want to wear the costume.
Right.
I would absolutely want to wear at least the cape. How fun would that be to have some chick that banged Evil Knievel calling you evil while you're fucking thrusting her from behind and that cape is flapped off your ass?
Right.
That would be solid. I'd pay $350 for that.
Sure.
As long as it was the real cape. I don't
Right.
want
Yeah, it's not a replica or something. It's the actual cape.
Yeah, and I don't even have to keep the cape.
Hey, you just want to wear it.
I just want to wear the cape.
Right.
$350. You think that's too much?
No. Not if you get to wear the actual cape.
I mean, honestly, and I'm going somewhere with this, if you can believe this, I'm not just winging it. I'm creating the same experience that Sean from Chicago created to meet his favorite band. For him, he created an experience for $750.
Right.
I would be creating the experience I want for $350. See what I mean? It's kind of the same.
Sure.
But I still don't. I don't think I would pay $750.
No.
Maybe Evil's mom.
Shit.
How old do you think she would be?
Now?
She's got to be about 120, right?
Yeah, well, she's gone by now. But, you know, Evil was 69 when he passed away, you know, 8 years ago.
Yeah, she's a bag of dust at this point.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Oh, well. So
hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, boys. How are you?
From Dallas, Fort Worth, who do we have on the phone with us?
My name would be Phillip, and I discovered you fellas about a year ago, and I've been waiting for an opportunity to call in, and I guess now I was going to weigh in on this Meet Your Heroes deal that you guys been, and then you got off on this Evil Knievel, would you bang a
well,
chick kind of tangent.
It's still a Meet Your Hero thing. So what's on your mind?
Well, let me my very first encounter ever. I remember back in the glory days of MTV and all that good stuff. You know, my dad would always caution me, you know, be careful about wishing to meet your heroes. Well, I had an encounter with Edward Van Halen in 1994 in Hollywood. I was stationed in San Diego. I'm ex-Navy, and we got a 3-day weekend off because Tricky Dick died. So thank you, Nixon. So we decided we were going to go up to L.A. because it was there. We'd never been, and we were in some restaurant. I don't remember the place, but a buddy of mine is like, dude, that is Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli. This is about the time Balance came out, 94. And I didn't recognize him because he cut all his hair off and had a goatee and shit.
Right.
And so I'm going to walk up to him, you know, and I'm like, no. My buddy's like, that is Eddie Van fucking Halen, dude. You may never get this chance again. I was like, dude, you're right. So it's lame as shit. I grabbed a napkin and a pen from the waiter, and before I could even open my mouth, Eddie threw the biggest fit in the world and caused a scene, and I just wanted to crawl under the table. I was like, let's pay the bill and get the fuck out of here,
what,
man.
Because you went over because you went to ask him for an autograph?
I didn't even open my fucking mouth, and the crazy thing is Valerie Bertinelli's eyes got as big as the dinner plates, because she looked like she wanted to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because he just, God damn it, Val, we can't fucking go here. Just caused a scene, man. And I learned a lesson from that, though. I was like, dude, I will never, ever, ever, ever approach any celebrity. I don't give a fuck if it's a local news guy here in Dallas, Fort Worth. If they're sitting down and eating, I will never do that shit again. Now, as far as the meet and greets go, I got fucked over twice, just within the last year.
All right. Now take it easy.
Oh, now take a breath.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little fired up.
That's all right. That's all right. I want to hear these experiences in detail. So, who was the first one?
About this time last year, I sprung, I think it was $200 plus the price of admission to do the meet and greet for Exodus and King Diamond, the Abigail tour. And it was the final night of the tour here in Dallas at the House of Blues.
All right, now hold on. So you were with the 200. You got to meet both bands or one band?
It was a dual package.
That's not bad.
$250. $250. Well, here's the kicker.
All right, go ahead.
If you recall, I think by the time it was the whole Abigail live tour, and I was like, fuck yes, because I was only like 13 when that shit was big. And never seen King Diamond, ever. Love King Diamond. But if you recall, by the time he hit, I want to say Arkansas or Oklahoma, his throat was gone. I mean, gone.
Right.
And I was following on his Facebook and all that stuff. You know, King and regretfully informed you that tonight's show in Houston canceled. Tonight's show in OKC canceled. And I was like, motherfucker. Well, of course, I was like, well, he's from Dallas. You've got to do the last show. Nope. Canceled the whole show. Canceled the remaining 5 dates of the tour or whatever. So I didn't get to see that. So the whole show's canceled. I had to wait 2 fucking weeks to get my money back from the venue, and I got them through StubHub or TicketWire or some shit like that. And they were like, well, you have to wait 5 to 10 business days. I was like, motherfucker, you took 5 to 10 business seconds to take my money. And, yeah, so that was, well, let's fast forward. So that was a bummer, and I was like, I got my money back and all that stuff, so I didn't get fucked out of it. But there was no makeup dates. There was no, nothing. It was like, sorry, King can't sing, no show. A couple weeks later, as soon as we confirmed it with the venue, I was like, the fucking venue just sent me an email saying they canceled the show, you dick. So let's fast forward to, and this is one I think you guys are going to weigh in heavily on. This past February, Havoc, Suicidal Tendencies, Megadeth here in Dallas.
Okay.
All right.
600 bones.
Wow.
To meet who?
Suicidal and Megadeth. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm the biggest Megadeth freak in the world. I want to meet Dave Mustaine so bad, and I want everybody that's ever told me what a colossal prick he is to be wrong. But I have a feeling you guys are probably right. Anyway, I just dig Dave. I dig his style, his music, but then sometimes he shoots his mouth off, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's becoming harder and harder to defend you, man. Anyway, the night before this show was supposed to happen, Suicidal isn't even on the tour yet. They're not even on the tour yet. Somebody, the promoter, whoever put this package together at the venue, completely shit the bed. Suicidal wasn't going to join this tour for another 2 weeks into it. This was the first night of the tour. So it was Megadeth and Havoc, and I don't remember who else, because I was so pissed. We got there late, and I saw Megadeth, and that was it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Can we reduce this and still do a meet and greet? No, meet and greet's off. You can still go to the show, but no meet and greet whatsoever. Again, motherfucker, man. So another 10 business days to get the refund on the meet and greet, but I still went to the show.
All right. At least you didn't get fucked out of your money.
Now, here's one. I've been 2 recently. One in September. Both of them just recently here in September. Absolutely free. Got to meet Zach Wilde. Stood in line for 3 hours at a Guitar Center. Got about 3 minutes interaction with him. A photo. Shook hands. Really cool motherfucker. Sure. Now, if you wanted something signed, you had to go stand in another fucking line and I was like, no, photo's good enough. I'm not going to spend all day at a Guitar Center, just, you know. And he was very cool, and I was not disappointed by that.
right.
The last one was just out of, well, this is actually kind of funny. It's a newer band out of not Sydney, but Melbourne, Australia, called 12 Foot Ninja. They're badass. Check them out. I've been a fan of this for a few years. We got front row down there, and this was an outside festival, 3-stage show, bands staggered, that kind of deal, out at the Speedway here in Fort Worth, the big NASCAR racetrack. I was there specifically to see the Ninja. And a buddy of mine, he's kind of muscular and built and all this stuff, was running around, and this was late summer, and he's running around with no shirt on. Well, one of the security guys up there on the rail, we nicknamed him Lamar, as in the very gay black guy from Revenge of the Nerds, because he was his fucking brother, let me tell you. Well, he was hot for my buddy because he's got long brown hair, he's ripped, he's in great shape, and he was calling him Greystoke and Tarzan and all this shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, so Ninja does her set and everything, and he's like, "Hi, you guys want to go backstage?"
Oh,
and I was like,
God.
And it was like, well, what does this encompass? He's like, "You want to meet the band?" "Oh, yeah, hell yeah, we want to meet the band." So he's like, "Okay, but I got to get a photo with your friend." So I had to sweet talk my friend to get the photo with Lamar, and he's like, "Whatever, dude." And hey man, whatever. It didn't hurt me none, but we got to hang out with them backstage for like 30 minutes for, I guess, the price of humiliation for my friend, and that was a cool experience. But anyway, fellas, I don't want to tie up your line too much, man. I just I discovered you via the miracle of YouTube last year, and Eddie through an Eddie Trunk link, believe it or not. Because YouTube recommends, hey, you might like this, and I was like, what's this classic metal show stuff? And I listened to it. I remember the title of it. The Real Jeff Tate Feels Veronica's Bang. And I listened to that. And I was like, okay, what is this Spreaker? What is all this? And I got more info on it and went back to the archives, downloaded Spreaker, and listened quite a bit.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to call in and say, and represent from fiery, cold, wet Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. I've turned a few other friends on to you guys. Hail and kill, boys. Fuck you, pal. And hand job.
Nice. There goes Phillip from Dallas.
Phillip from Dallas checking out. Wow, we got new callers tonight.
Look at that. I like that.
New people listening.
I like that.
That fucking YouTube is really fueling us, isn't it?
Yeah.
You realize dude, as if we don't have enough excitement about the numbers, in the next about month, we're going to cross 600,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, I see that. Yep.
It's the views on YouTube have really, really taken off lately.
It started to skyrocket.
I know. It's like the whole thing is just exploding, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, sure.
It's fun.
Well, that's cool. Well, the studio line is 800-497-5891 if you're interested. So it's cool hearing from new and different people.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact that people are out there going to these meet and greets and spending a lot of cake to do that.
You know what, though? Now, the ones that he said there, like $250 to meet.
That's not horrible.
That's okay. I mean, that's realistic. If you're a big King Diamond fan or whatever, and you get to meet two bands for an Exodus as well, you get to meet two bands for $200. That's not awful.
That's not terrible.
I mean, it's not great. I mean, you should be able to hang out by the van and meet these guys. But,
sure.
But, if they're going to charge for it, I mean, $250, that's reasonable. That's not fuck, I'm going to not pay my rent this month money.
No.
So, and that's where I have the biggest problem is because, let's be real, some of the people that are doing this cannot afford to do this.
That's true.
And they're fucking their families over to meet fucking Nikki Sixx or whatever.
Right.
And that's fucked up. A couple $100, okay, we all waste a couple $100. But when's the last time you wasted $700-800?
I haven't.
Ever. I mean, I maybe have once or twice in some fucking scam type bullshit when I was like 19, 20, 21, but certainly not since I became an adult.
Well, last January, when I went to NAMM, because I hadn't had a proper vacation in literally years,
right?
I flew first class out to L.A. and back, but that was $700 round trip.
Yeah, round trip
for first class,
right?
And it was nice. But,
I'm sure it was nice,
but I could have gotten coach for like $250 to $300 round trip.
Yeah, so you'd have saved $300, but sat next to some fucking fat, smelly broad, fucking overdosed on her fucking raspberry perfume.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ugh.
But that's the last time I splurged and spent money, fairly unnecessarily, just because I wanted to.
Right.
Yep, that's it. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Good evening, guys. It's Toby here, calling from the Middle East.
Hello, Toby. It's good to hear from you, my friend.
How are you? How you doing?
We're well.
Good. Well, I'm just on the subject of this VIP meet and greet. We live in economically cash-strapped times, and the general kind of beef, really, from all of this sounds like people feel they're not really getting much bang for their buck. Really, either they're being sort of corralled in, things are being hurried along. So maybe they need to sort of the musicians, the celebs, they need to roll out the red carpet a little more. So for example, Paul Stanley, I know he can cook pretty well. So maybe one of these VIP things would be Paul Stanley is your private chef for the evening. You can have a hot plate and a little chef's hat, and you flip in mollusks, live cooked seafood, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Or you could stay at someone's house. Sebastian Bach, for example, might sort of let you do a bit of wife swapping. I don't know.
Well, that's all well and fine, Toby, and that's a very funny observation. But obviously, these bands or artists are not starving for people who are willing to purchase that VIP, because obviously we've had a couple of calls tonight, people who are spending that kind of scratch and getting 5 minutes with their favorite rock star, and they don't seem to have a problem spending that money.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they say that there's a recession coming. People are sort of times are tough. That things are expensive more than they ever have been. But the way that some people carry on, you wouldn't think that. I'm not necessarily talking about people who pay to see their favorite musician or so on. But when it starts hitting the higher numbers, like the Nicky Six figures,
sure,
then that's just money. You've got money to burn. Then you shouldn't really bitch about it. But
right, I agree.
But as times get tough for them, for these people, eventually there are going to be some diminishing returns, and there are going to be some younger, newer talent going to be coming up there. Maybe people like Lita Ford and so on will have to turn to some sort of escorting, perhaps. That's what I'm holding out for. Dinner, classy restaurant, followed by the girlfriend experience.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And this will strike a raw nerve. What you could actually have like a scale. You could have like a rating. So Lita Ford would be somewhere in the middle, and then further down the food chain, we'd have Nashville Pussy and Betsy Bitch. Really El Cheapo kind of mud wrestling. And then perhaps right at the high end, you'd have Lizzie Hale. You could just motorboat her tits in a raffle or something.
Chris would do that.
I would absolutely do that. Now that I'd
absolutely.
For. Fuck yes.
And she could raffle her boobs for like a children's cancer charity or something. It'd be a good cause.
Motorboat Lizzie for $200.
I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
I paid that yesterday. Are you kidding me?
And then for the real fanboys, for the people who, like you were just talking about, Evel Knievel's ex-girlfriend, you could have all the people that were cut up about breakup of Pantera, and Dimebag's widow could be putting it out as well for a few thousand.
Dimebag's widow.
You bang out Rita Haney for $1,000? Is that what you're saying, Toby?
She's got big tits. And she's got big tits, and she looks, she kind of looks sort of like a grease monkey gearhead slutty. Do you know what I mean?
Nice. Nice.
I'm a cheap date. Anyway, I'll let you guys get on.
All right, Toby.
Have a good one.
Cash
Hail
is...
and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job.
All right. Well, Toby obviously gets the concept that cash is king.
And not only that, Toby is my favorite guy on the Facebook.
Right.
Toby sends me so much Facebook shit during the week. It ain't even funny.
Right.
Dude, he sent me that Smiths picture today, which was, I don't know, did you see that one?
No.
Bobby Blotzer's The Smiths.
The Smiths.
And he's got, you have to, let me put it in the chat room. Hold on. Because this fucking photo is hysterical. You got to see this. Copy image. I'll put it in the chat room right now. Where's the chat room?
This is with Morrissey?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Smiths. I'm assuming it is, right? But it's whatever the Smiths are. It's not a band I listen to. But
there's Chris motorboating Lizzie Hale in the chat room.
I'd love to do that.
Look at that.
All right, look at that picture.
Nice. Yeah, that's Morrissey there in the middle.
Well, with the turtleneck.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
That shit made me laugh and laugh.
Yeah, that's funny.
And you know what else he sent me, which we could talk about if you wanted to?
What's that?
He's the one that found the new version of Brides of Destruction.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right.